Hello and welcome to a new edition of Congratulations, You're In. During each episode, you and I will explore the many steps that you, as a Montgomery County High School student, may encounter before, during, and after your college application process. You and I will discover your path towards reading those fantastic words. Congratulations, you're in. I'm Ed Reed, your host. Joining us today is Dr. Christine Handy, principal of Gaithersburg High School and president-elect of the National Association of Secondary School Principals. She is here to give her insight on student leadership, an important factor impacting college admissions. Dr. Handy, welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, and it's so good to have you here. And we're going to dive right in.
All right.
Because there are many students who are looking at this pathway to college, and they look at the college admissions criteria. And when we go out there, we know that a lot of colleges are using what they call a holistic application review process. And so in addition to academic excellence, their grades, I call it the numbers, your test scores, they also want to learn something about the student. And tonight I'd like for us to focus on leadership, student leadership. And so let's start the conversation. What does student leadership look like in schools?
Well, student leadership takes many forms in a high school. So our students have opportunities to be leaders in clubs and activities. They also have opportunities to lead in different community service kinds of activities. So leadership takes many forms in a high school.
And so when we look at there's many forms, so let's say I'm a student at your school. How do I get involved in becoming a leader at the school?
Well, I like to tell students, if you see something, say something. So if you see a need and you feel that you have a solution, then our students have opportunities to just come to the principal, come to their administrators and say, I have an idea, because we want the ideas, idea that you keep to yourself, doesn't do anyone any good. So we want our kids to be creative and to come up with ideas that will serve our schools and our communities. So taking the leadership, taking the time to inspire others to do some work that will benefit our school community as well as our outside community is what we want our students to do. So students have opportunities. They can create a club. They can join a club that's already existing and suggest different activities that club can do. Taking the lead, sometimes it's not necessarily creating something new, but perhaps bringing new ideas to something that already exists.
So what we're really talking about, so there's a kid, and maybe that kid might not be popular, but maybe that kid has an idea. And so when we talk about this whole notion of leadership and being a student leader, it doesn't have to be complex, does it?
Oh, no. And certainly popularity doesn't have anything to do with it. If you have an idea, all students have a voice. Their voice matters. And that's what we want our kids to know today, that your voice matters. But if you keep it to yourself, then no one will ever know the great ideas that you have.
And so when I think about kids and their ideas, I think about creating opportunities. And some of the best leaders that emerge are the ones who act on their ideas.
Absolutely.
And so one of the things I want to maybe have you speak on is that just in your experience, what are some of those neat things that kids have done as leaders? And share with us maybe one example before we go to our break.
Yeah, well, let me, just the other day, I had a student come to me and she wanted to start a kindness club, because she realized that last year we had a couple of students who were out long-term with an illness. We had a student who had cancer last year, and we've had students who have sickle cell who have been out for long periods of time. And she felt that it was important that we, as a school, that the students send cards to kids that might be home for extended periods of illness, and also to students who may be hospitalized. And so they wanted to start a kindness club. And so that's what they did.
That's fantastic. And I tell you what, right now, we're going to have to take a brief break, and then you and I will continue our talk with Dr. Handy on strategies to help students develop their leadership skills.
Maybe you can can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Wacha. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
What if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow.
My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
There are many ways of wrapping production cables. Most of them are wrong.
To protect the cable and keep it from tangling, the accepted method in the video industry is the RCA wrap, commonly known as over-under. This is how you do it. Grab the cable for the length where you want to make your first loop. Bring your hands together. Now gently twist so that the cable forms a natural loop. This is over. After your first loop, reach down, palm of your hand away from your body, grab the next bit of cable, and bring your hands together, looping the cable under. Now reach down again and loop the cable over. Continue to alternate between over and under until your cable is fully coiled. If your cable is wrapped properly, you can uncoil the cable quickly with no loops, kinks, or tangles. It takes practice to master the over-under method, but when you do, you will make your facilities manager very happy.
If you want to learn more about this or other video production techniques, sign up for classes at Montgomery Community Media.
Welcome back to our discussion with Dr. Handy, principal of Gaithersburg High School, on developing student leaders. Dr. Handy, now we were talking about this work that your students are doing right now, this kindness project. And so I was talking to the Dean of Admissions at Stanford University, and we talked about the importance of impact as a leader. And so talk to us a little bit about how students can make an impact, and even if you want to use this example about making an impact as a leader.
All right, so one of the things that she wanted to do is she wanted to get more students involved in spreading kindness by delivering cards to students at their homes as well as for those students who may be in the hospital. And so when we talked about making an impact, I said, you know, this is a great idea. So let's not think about just as Gaithersburg High School, but how can we spread this kindness club to other high schools to make a bigger impact? So I wanted her to think bigger than just Gaithersburg High School, but how we could affect all of Montgomery County just by spreading this particular idea to other high schools. So she got really excited about that. And so I want our students to think, you know, I want them to have great ideas, and then I want them to think bigger.
You want them to think bigger.
Absolutely.
And what I'm hearing you say is that expanding this type of project that starts with a simple idea is helping leaders to develop leaders. And you and I as leaders, I know that's one of the things we really enjoy.
Absolutely.
Is developing other leaders. But let's talk about you. You're principal of Gaithersburg High School, president-elect of the National Association of Secondary School Principals. How did you become a leader?
Well, I think I became a leader basically just by birth order. I am the oldest of 5, and I had a single mom, and she needed me to be a leader because I had to help. I had to help out. And I was the oldest, and so I had to step up. And my mother really was the first person who really helped me to develop my leadership skills.
So what did she do?
Well, I mean, she trusts me. She taught me things. You know, I had to lead my siblings. I had to do things. I had to do more because I was the oldest. And she depended on me. And so she gave me opportunities to be the leader. You know, sometimes it wasn't necessarily by choice. It was just what I had to do. And then she gave me other opportunities once I demonstrated those leadership skills. Then as I got a little bit older, she gave me opportunities to do things outside of my work and leading my siblings.
So leadership doesn't always have to start in school. So what I'm hearing you say is that leadership can start right at the home.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I encourage my parents to do is how do we help our students to develop their leadership skills at home? And so I encourage parents to help involve our students in the decision-making processes in the home. For example, instead of just telling kids what their chores are, you know, give them the chores and let them develop the plan. You know, the kids might come up with a different kind of plan based on who likes to do things better than, you know, somebody might like washing dishes, somebody might prefer to be the one to take out the trash and mop the floor. So I think it's important for parents to involve our kids, their students, their children in the decision-making process. If you're planning a vacation, you know, involve the students in that. Let them look it up on the internet. Let them help with the budget. So I think there's a lot of ways that parents can really think outside of the box and involve their kids in the decision-making process right at home and develop their leadership skills.
And so now that's what parents can do. What do you think students, if you were just talk to our students, some things that they can do at home in talking with their parents to get those opportunities or to create those opportunities?
Well, I think first thing we got to talk, right? And so I think it's just important that open communication in the home. And the students, that, you know, they have a voice, and I want our kids to know that their voice matters. And so I think it really is a partnership between the students and their parents, you know, and their guardians. So I think it's just really important that everybody gets involved in this whole building leadership capacity of our kids. So the kids have to take initiative, and their parents need to give them those opportunities. And communication is just really important. Open communication in the home is going to be the foundation for developing those leadership skills.
And then how about those students? They have these ideas and they try, but they run into some hurdles. Perhaps they have some setbacks. What would you say to encourage those kids to keep persevering?
Well, you know, any successful people, we know that there's going to be hurdles and challenges in life. So we have to push our kids to not give up, to try another way. And that's part of developing leadership skills, that you have to be able to get across those hurdles. You have to already know there are going to be some stumbling blocks in the way, but everybody that we know that's been successful has been able to get over those hurdles. And so we just have to push our kids to persevere and not give up, try another way.
So we got to push them to persevere. And I wish we had so much more time. But let's say that takeaway, students, is never too early to develop your leadership skills. And I want to say thank you. Thank you to our outstanding guest, Dr. Handy, proud principal of Gaithersburg High School. We hope that we have gotten you a few steps closer to reading and hearing those fantastic words. Congratulations, you're in. Join us during our upcoming episodes where you and I will explore how to understand the financial aid offer and scholarship offer terms, knowing the difference between loans and grants, finding a mentor on your college campus, majors, minors, and so very much more. Until next time, keep working towards your dreams until you hear the words. Congratulations, you're in.